Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the IslandStats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is co-host Garrett Punchy Dill and Andrew Griffith. Gentlemen, Devonshire Colts have put themselves within reach of claiming the Premier Division title following their 4-1 victory over Paget Lions at Whitehill Field earlier today. Devonshire Colts now in second place, 2 points behind the Dandytown Hornets and 1 point ahead of PHC with one round to play. This game was postponed back on November 25th of last year, and the association sent out a press release, sent out a statement that this match will be replayed as of today, and that's basically all they came up with. They didn't say what the outcome of whatever, but it just said that that this game would be played today. Obviously, Devonshire Colts have been on a roll this season. Punchy, obviously, I wouldn't say are you surprised, but what's your thoughts on Devonshire Colts at this point in time with still one round to play?
I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy for him. And what also I'm happy about is the fact that about the coaching, Ray Jones, what he's done with the team and how he's transformed them into a very strong, cohesive unit. Like from last year, they still like they were in a learning process, and they still are now. Of course, we will always learn it. But I think what I see much more of maturity in this team. And then you have Sinaj Mitchell, then you see what they are good at and what they're not good at. He's been able to really steady ship in games that they have lost. They maybe by the odd goal, whatever, we were surprised with some games that they have lost. Mm-hmm. But I think most of all is that the structure is that you see a very good organized team, which I'm glad to see. I think it's not by accident that they are where they are. Mm. It's not by accident, I think the well structured. I'm seeing them play. I'm seeing them play not too good and still win, which is most important.
Yeah, it's all about getting the win. And Griff, yes. What's your thoughts on how Ray Jones has this team playing?
It's got him right where he wants them to be, like the primed and ready. I think they still have one eye on the league, but I think they have both eyes on the FA Cup. So I think this was more of a primer for the FA Cup because it's more tangible within their reach. But if some things break their way, then maybe they might have a shot at the league too. But I think today was more of a run out to get ready for the FA Cup.
Mm. And obviously, Paget, we talked about Paget getting a big influx of players over the summer break and the transfer period, and we kind of expected a little more from them this season. Would you say it would be a kind of a disappointing season thus far for Paget? I mean, they've avoided the drop, but where they currently sit is in 8th place.
Yeah, you got for sure. I just think that they haven't come full circle yet. If you look, like what was with Devonshire Colts from last year, there's a lot of things that have been fixed about them. And some of the players have to make mention of this, the tall Dublin, who's improved tremendously. There's a lot of players that have improved. The other thing is the camaraderie in the team. What they do. And I'm talking about Devonshire Colts.
Yeah.
As I told you guys, I've seen them in games, it's like, what do you say about them now? Like the season, is it the coach? Is it really the coach? Because there are players there. There are players there. But it's that whole setup not working with Ventura. Do they need someone else to come in and take over? That would be really something to think about over the summer. Because, they don't seem, again, using the terminology full circle, they're not getting, there's some things he hasn't fixed. It looks like to me. He hasn't fixed. Ray Jones has fixed some stuff from last year, what I'm alluding to. And, but I don't see that at Paget.
Yeah.
So I went to this game today, and it was a very
you dressed like one of the coaches. So were you at the game, or were you
I dressed for everything. I had a little bit of Devonshire Colts, a little bit of Paget, I got a little bit of North Village in here. I had it all today. I was for football today.
Okay.
So this game, although it's 4-1, it wasn't that much difference between the teams, because they Colts went up 1-0, good goal as expected. Then it got to be, I think it was 2-0 and 2-1. At 2-1, Paget kept going at him, and at the half it was 2-1, and everybody's like, okay, it could be, and Paget had a lot of the ball, and we're attacking him, and everybody was waiting. Okay, if this game gets to 2-2, it gets very interesting. So at one point, then in the second half, Colts got a goal against him on the play, and went up 3-1. Everybody thought, okay, whatever. Paget came back down the field, and it looked like they had a goal. The ball struck the V and hit the crossbar and the upright. Upright, and we were like, oh, I do wonder, was that a goal? And it looked like it went in and bounced out. And everybody stopped. The ref didn't say anything. Linesman would be like, oh. And it wasn't a goal, but had that going in at 3-2, completely different game. But they were going at them. They had chances, and then at the end they got one because they were pressing 4-1. But this game they were pretty even. The only difference I would say, what a lot of people say, is finishing. And Colts have more finishes than Paget. That's the only difference. Otherwise, they gave it was a good match.
Yeah. Being that you said finishes, let me just draw your attention. So Sonaj Mitchell now has 14 goals. Shamal Henry has 11 goals, and Elijah Darrell has 9 goals for Devonshire Colts. If you look at that, that's 34 goals.
34 goals, yeah.
Three players. Then they scored 44 goals. Now, that could be a good thing that those three are shared the goals around because of the strikers. But you look at a team like Dandytown, who have scored 36, and David Jones has 16 of those 36. So that's 20 other goals coming from other places. What would you say would be the proper balance for you, Punchy? Would it be three strikers scoring, or would it be assured?
I think that's a really good question too, Earl. Let me answer that in terms of my experiences. When I was playing with North Village and Triple Crown, and you're playing people like Gumbo, you're playing with Randy Bean, you're playing with my brother Kelvin, you're playing with Arthur Bean. We speak about how the goals should be shared, especially in the Monday night meetings. And it was always important that the midfielder score goals, and the goals, most of the North Village goals at the time were scored not by me, were scored by Gumbo, Calvin, Caldil, who else? Randy Bean, who else? My brother Parks, he scored much more goals than me. And so they were shared. But most of the Gumbos, of course, Gumbo was scored, of course, Ralph,
Yes.
And then so what I see with Devonshire Colts, I see it's well shared. And I like the fact that they're sharing those top three, which also goes back to what was North Village like last year. Jonte is struggling, but look how the goals were last year, shared amongst Jai Bean, Jonte, and a few midfielders. So that's a good, in terms of how Devonshire Colts has achieved what they've done. I think it's well is shared in terms of that shows about the balance of the team. Now with going with Dandytown, of course, once in a while they're going to be a striker like David Jones. I'm saying.
Yeah, David Jones.
Yeah, who's scoring all the goals? And if you can go back to international teams too, the international club like Harry Kane, what he does for Bayern Munich, so
Yeah.
that's expected. But you know what would I prefer? I would prefer that a team still has the odd goal from set pieces from your center half or stuff like that, and then it's shared amongst the players.
Mm.
But there's still importance to the center forward and the main goal scorer, which is Devin Coast to me is proven that they are.
Yes. Yeah.
If I have 3 strikers and they're banging in girls, hey, all the rest of you, get them the ball. And you get these scraps. Get these 3 guys going. Because you can make them take away 1, maybe 2. You're not taking away all 3.
Right.
Get them the ball.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
job's easy after that.
Yeah.
Your job is to pass them the ball.
Well, you know, I look at let's say when I watch Danny Tom play, let's say the captain Goda. How many goals has he got? How can we put? Let's see how many goals he's got.
He's got 8.
Okay, 8. Right.
I'm sorry, 6. I'm sorry, 6. I thought, yeah, 6.
As a wide player, you know, those. I think he's been instrumental in the way how the team is set up now, how he plays. But his contributed. He's got 6 goals. That's a good contribution. Right. You know, I still think he should be more. I've seen him sometimes playing. I'm like, it's just a chance that he's wasted. You know, but I think again, going back to the fact that a team that's winning the league or winning trophies, who the goals are shared amongst, and like that's what Griffith says. Yeah, the 3 strikers, the people. If you got 3 people that scoring, you got 34 goals between you. Well, yeah, make sure that they are fed. Well, make sure that that a lot of things go through them, and like with Lars Mitchell, it's good. And he's also been in the national team now. It helps.
Yeah. The one thing is clear that obviously Ray has set up a system that, like you said, Griffith, you can block probably 1 and you can block probably 2, but your third option is still getting you the goods. So whatever he's designed for those 3 up front, you know. Hey, that's the good thing for them.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but I just found out at the game today, seeing him. So remember, they had a player, Shazade Samuels, that was suspended for 12 games early this season. Yeah. Apparently, coach appealed. It was reduced to 3, and he played today.
That's a real
3, but there lies the problem because has he missed 3 games?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't think they would have got that wrong, but he did play today.
Because he played 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he played against North Village in the semifinals.
Exactly. So you guys,
not North Village. I'm PHC. Sorry.
PHC. Yes, he did.
PHC in the semifinals.
Yeah. So
no, he did. No, wait.
No, he didn't. I don't think he did.
In the semifinal of the FA Cup, I was told he played the Friday night. He played. He won the penalty.
All that aside, a lot of people the neutrals and the other are complaining. Like, oh, how could this possibly happen? And this is wrong. They said, well, personally, I don't know what happened, and I don't know what the merits of the appeal is. I say you have to trust the system, and whatever happened at the appeal, they made the case, and it was reduced to 3, and it is what it is. But a lot of people in the football community feel aggrieved that it was reduced to 3 games.
No, I mean, a lot of people would be aggrieved that it took so long to even be dealt with.
But even this game today took so long to be dealt with.
Right.
Whether it will be played at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, what can you do? Like I keep telling people, if you're upset with what goes on, y'all gotta first get on your committee.
Yeah.
And then go to the BFAs or whatever association you want to, or whatever group you want to take on. You have to go to that meeting, and then you have to have your say and let the chips fall where they may. Because sometimes you might have a bright idea, but the way you express it might rub others wrong. That may go against you, or they may go with you. You never know. But it's all about you having to be in a position. See, people on the outside, if you're not willing to be involved and make a difference, then what's the sense of listening to you on the outside?
Well, Earl, the other thing is there an arena, if I can use that terminology, for people to complain? Do they write to the newspaper? Okay, they see what Griffith's saying.
What could the newspaper, what could Island Stats, what could any other media do when you're dealing with officials on the inside? The only way to make a difference is get on the inside. Simple. You could write, the newspaper could write all they want. You know what happens with that? You take it out in the trash barrel where it should go and burn it.
So, as a former BFA executive, people always speak about the BFA like it's this, I don't know, magic kingdom in the sky, but it's not. BFA is the, 21, 22, 23 affiliate, the clubs.
Yes,
it is the clubs. And those clubs are represented on the executive.
Yeah.
So if you want to change what BFA is doing, then your club has a vote every year for who's on the executive, or they voice it to the representatives that are on the executive. So BFA is not this mystery thing that stands off on its own. It is the clubs.
Yeah. And that's why I say the only way you're gonna make a change is from the inside, because you do have representation. Every club has representation at that general meeting. Now, if there's somebody chooses not to show up, that's on that club. That it ain't got nothing to do. So if something is passed during that meeting and your person weren't there to object or put your say in, then it's on you. It's not on the association. The association didn't put platform forward. So most of these things they put forward is from FIFA.
Yeah. So one of the things I was confronted with at the game when discussing the appeal, they said, "Oh, that's not a fair appeal." I said, "Well, how can you say that? You gotta trust these things." Oh, Shannon Burgess is the Devonshire coach, and Devonshire coach is the player, and so he influenced. I said, "You can't say that." I said, "He cannot influence an appeal, otherwise, no, that's how BFA works." I think people are always looking for conspiracies. But I've been around. I do not believe that that's what has happened in this scenario.
So the issue is the disciplinary committee is a group of independent people. They're not on the BFA board. They have no affiliation with the association. It's just a group of people asked to serve as a disciplinary, and that'd be the same thing for the appeals committee.
And many of them have a legal background.
Right, and they might be affiliated with a club, because everybody in Bermuda is affiliated with a club in some way, shape, or form. But when they look at that, some of them may recuse themselves from whatever, just so that it is made to be above board kind of thing. The only thing is, without any background or any information on what, number one, what the grounds were for the 12 games, what the grounds were for to be reduced to 3, then obviously the talk and the speculation is going to rampant, because nobody knows what the actual facts are.
Yes.
We all got to see it. We all got to see it because it was on. And then what happens? You form without knowing what. Because guess what? Every time somebody gets accused of something illegally, they go to court, right? And the matter is heard in public court, right? So you know what's going on. The problem is we have these closed things that obviously people are, within the organizations, are afraid to let people know what's going on. And then what happens? Or everybody starts talking. And 9 times out of 10, we know he who shouts the loudest is the one the information taken, which is not always the correct information. But if you don't give the people the what's going on, the facts, then hey, we're in trouble, man. We're in serious trouble.
So one of the other things, the complaints that I hear is that the people that sit on disciplinary or appeals committees, they're just people in suits that never played football, so they're completely disconnected and they don't know what they're doing.
That's probably the best thing. They're not independent.
Yes,
they're not independent.
Yeah.
They're clearly independent. Let's take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll pick that conversation right back up. We'll be right back.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect? It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Get ready for some high-speed action this month as Lindo's proudly sponsors the Showdown at Sundown Go-Kart Racing Extravaganza. Join the excitement on Friday and Saturday, March 27th and 28th at 8 p.m. and watch drivers battle it out under the lights at Southside Motorsports Raceway. Enjoy the atmosphere and cheer on your favorite racers. And when it's time to stock up for race day, remember, Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Bringing us men. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, we talk about the discipline and all sorts of committees that the association have and so forth. But Punchy, when we looked at, I mean, you've even expressed times that when you were suspended and appealed and all that type of stuff, but just dealing with so many incidents week in and week out, we see. Even in the professional world, we always get information when a player is not available due to a suspension and what they've done and so forth. Do you think that would help in some way to kind of lessen the offenses of some sort?
That's another good question too. How it because the incidents that are happening regularly, whether it's world football or local football, it's a difficult period. And how we go about fixing that and coming to, how it properly works, it just like VAR. Now, it's going to take time, with Bermuda, with so many things happening, suspensions, and other things, and, sending offs. And what I am more concerned about is how long does it takes to iron these matters out. That would be my cause for concern here in Bermuda.
Griff, you've been on the inside, Griff, but because you were in the finance department, were you ever involved in any of the disciplinary committees?
No, I wasn't involved in it. At the same time, I was also a referee when I was an executive, and that's the only way I ever had to appear before a disciplinary hearing is to give evidence. So that's my only involvement. But I want to since we're talking about discipline and the results of what comes through it, I want to discuss something that happened during the game today that is like shaking me. So as you can appreciate, during games, fans participating, they're lively and they're yelling out stuff. So it was a exchange during the game where a fan is yelling out instructions to their team. It's not a player makes a mistake. Oh, you should have done that. Oh, this, that. Oh, go move here. And so at one point, the player turns around and says, "Yay, shut the F up" to the fan. So I'm like, oh, wow, dude, but what would you say if I tell you that fan was that player's father? What's your reaction?
Well, you were taken back. I'm stunned.
Yeah.
So as fathers, what would you have done?
Oh, the team was playing with one less man.
Punchy?
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I think in that situation I would have to swallow my pride. But I just think, like in Bermuda, fans are. My thing will be about the player first of all. When you're given instructions by your coach, that's your instruction. Your concentration is so important that whatever you heard outside of that, you're not even listening. You're just playing. The people, and again, the crowd is so close. Rather it be a family member or a cousin, a family member, But once you're in that game, you're giving instructions by the coach. That concentration is so vital. It's important that you don't even hear the outside chatter. Rather it's coming from a parent or a brother or whatever. But sometimes, again, it depends on. I think that's a real that's a difficult situation there. Now, how does that person react?
I wonder what the other 30 people that was standing in the same area beside us thought. I'm actually, I was so taken aback. I had to joke about it with the father, like, hey, I guess we shouldn't say anything else, and we just laughed. But after the game, I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
I think it's a learned behavior to you guys. Yeah. I remember when I first went to England, and my grandson won his first or second game, one of those. Anyway, her and I, hey, one of the coach staff came right round to me. I said, listen, sir, can we have a conversation over here? I was like, huh? Yeah. He said, listen, really, this is not allowed. You're disrespecting the coaching staff, and I think actually you're disrespecting the other parents too. So could you be a little bit more quiet, sir? And I'm not telling you to shut up, was it? But anyway, the way it was put across to me, and I had to learn. It was a learning process. So even now in Bermuda, I might have a little comment, but I think most important is that the players got to be so in tune with the game, concentrating, and then of course spectators have a right to say what they want to say. But I think here, you hear all types of comments that really don't make sense at times. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be facetious to people, but I think it's a learned process, and I learned it. So now I go to games, I will make comments. So I have to make a comment to my nephew after the game and say, listen, I think you do this and that. But for me, it's been learned. And I'm telling you truthfully, it's learned. And I say, wow, if a person is making the same mistake all the time, that should have been a girl, and I heard so many stuff here. But again,
so
that's
Punchy,
my personal experience.
My response to that though is, if that's how you talk to your father, what chance does a referee have?
And or a coach.
Well,
I would never dream, even at my little graybeard is gone, I would never dream of saying that to my father.
I wouldn't dream of saying that to my brothers.
Yeah. So if you have a difference of opinion with a referee and you're good at it, hey, referee, you can shut the F up too.
Oh wow,
that's not that far of a leap.
Yeah, I think it's a learned behavior. I'm saying I'm heard. Well, I'm not thinking. Then I go to games and I heard the mothers cussing out and carrying on. I wouldn't say cussing out and carrying and shouting all this stuff. I think it's just learned from Bermuda. I don't know if it's a Bermuda trade or whatever it is, but I think it's learned her. I think and you hear people. No, they told you when you bet. There's spectators, but the spectators have a right to say again. The spectators have a right to say what they have to say. And sometimes you're cussing players off. Of course, it happens in England and Europe and also. But it depends on the player's reaction. And, it depends on the player's reaction. It goes to the fact, and of course, the crowds are so close. I'm going to be saying that again. Your mother or father is right there near the sideline. And you can hear them. You're only 10 yards away. Yeah. Or you're playing on the left wing or something like that. Or you're playing on the right wing and it's on that side.
Coach, I'm going to come over the other side. Coach, I'm going to come over the other side.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Can't play on that side.
It's a very difficult situation.
I can remember, and it's got to be like 15, maybe 20 years ago, being an assistant referee on the line at a game of Derbyshire Rec. And same way, you have to tune out whatever the fans are saying behind you and just focus on your job.
Mhm.
But one day, somebody said something, a woman, so reprehensible and disgusting to me. Like, if I can't keep up with play, take that flag and shove it up my. I'm like, what? Hey, what you doing that? Like, so I stopped. Somebody said, hey, don't worry about that. That's so and so's mama. She's crazy. I'm like, what? That's somebody's mama. I said, well, if that's how the mother reacts, then what are you likely to get from the player interacting with the referee?
Yeah.
Right. But
Yes.
that's what I'm always talking about when we come to the national team. You know, we have at the stadium when you have a group of people that come to support a particular player, and that player, despite what goes on, is trying to please not only the coach but especially those guys up in the stands. If they're saying, "Oh, take him on, beat him 1-on-1, do this, do that," and he's trying to please them and forgets about the system that you're playing, it's a breakdown. And that's where we have this problem. And like you said, Punchy, we're so close to everything, right? People on top, but it's just the mindset of the individual. Can they shut out whatever's going on outside of what the coach has been instructed them to do in that changing room? Because there could be a system where you might be playing against somebody, a fullback who likes to over attack. So what does the coach tell you to do? Well, Punchy, track him just a little bit and then leave him. Because when we win the ball, we want to knock the ball into the space to you to give you the attack. No, what has to happen? That other team has to change their tactics, and that guy can't attack as freely as. But people on the sideline don't know that. They're just saying, "Punchy, you're not tracking your man."
I think it's the same. Harry Redknapp, I think, has a quote like that. I think it was him that said, and talked about interacting with fans during the game or whatever. Listen to him. If you end up listening to the fans, you end up sitting with the fans. You're gonna be over.
Yeah.
You're out of a job if you let the fans dictate what you're doing.
Yeah. But again, if you imagine if you're with 30,000 people.
Yeah.
Somebody here, Mother's Day or somebody just showing the show. You heard that. But here, because we're so close, it really is again, you guys having a discussion about it. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But I still believe it comes down to the instructions given to the players, the right instructions, right? And also the concentration. And it's difficult. Again, I keep using the terminology difficult because we're so close. We're right there. We're on top of the players. And the play, when you take a corner, it's terrible. And coach, you would expect, no, don't take the short corner, get the ball in. But you've been told something different. So it depends on the player. It does. But again, Griff, adding to what you said, I think it was, when your father starts to give you instructions, not working on is continuously at you in front of people. It also can be an embarrassment for the player also. So we're going back to the behavior of the crowd behavior and knowledge.
Yeah. Well, that's go sit around the dinner table there.
I'm not getting into that dinner.
You might have a plate of food. You better eat when he gets off the game. I don't know what he's eating tonight.
Hey, if that was my house, my dinner's coming through a straw.
I got you. Yeah.
And Good Friday and Easter Sunday's coming.
Yeah, it is. It's
a fish in a blender, isn't it?
It is. It's. I'm glad you brought the subject up, Griff, because it is it's something that I see in Bermuda a lot. I see it really a lot. It is. And that's something that, again, it's at least having a talk about it and witnessing it yourself. Witnessing yourself. That's even possible.
That's all I thought about after the game was over. Not the score and what happened to players. Like that, it shook me to seeing that.
Yeah. But I think even at the youth level, it has to be addressed. And what needs to happen is the referee or the match commissioner needs to say to the whatever team is got the people doing the offending and all that, tell that coach to go over and talk to those parents. Because even at the youth level, it gets out of control. And that's where you get a tendency where a parent is so into the game, so don't let that child do that. Next time he does that, kick him. That type of stuff is where it starts. So that needs to be addressed by that club. If they're, if their son's represented, and that club representative needs to go and address those parents and say, listen, we don't tolerate that. We were told once before, I think Coach Coach Cooper told us that at certain clubs in the UK, when the youth go training, you have to drop your child off and leave. You don't come to the training session because the coaches need that time to put what they want in place without the interference of a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
come game day, whatever they've worked on that particular week, then that's what they execute. So the parent has to, like you was told that day, Bunty, you know, you have to turn it on. You know, we don't do that here. You know,
That's right.
Those are the type of things that we need to address right from the youth age that will take us through to these seniors. Because obviously, if I'm a parent and I say, don't let that child do that to you next time, kicking, what that child can do, because he wants to please his parents first, you know.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the coach right now at a young age. I'm worried about the coach right now. I need to kick them because my daddy or my mama told me to kick that body next time he does it. So what happens?
Yeah, Earl. I think Earl, how do we address that is right. I think club officials, you go up and then address the parents and say, listen, this is not acceptable. Or pre-season, there's got to be guidelines for the parents at games.
At games, that's right. Written out.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
The guys, apparently, I learned today, the players could get criticized, the coaches could get criticized, fans, but apparently we can also get criticized. One of our many viewers came up to me at the game. I'm always surprised, but I know we have thousands, but I still get surprised when they come up to us. She introduced herself to Stephen Ashwood's mother. Good evening, Ms. Ashwood. And she's good at listen. She said, look, you guys better come with facts. I said, what you mean? I said, how do we not come with facts? Look, and she's proceeded to tell me how Patrick was playing and what they're doing, and they're a really good team, and the only thing that's issues is scoring. I said, well, we've been saying that all season. We don't know. And then we had a discussion. So I think sometimes people get lost in their emotion, but I agree with exactly everything you're saying. I think we say that. But I think people have their interpretation of what we say sometimes, I think.
I put it down to sometimes they just want to introduce themselves and let you know that they're watching.
Okay, all right. I'll take that on each day. All right.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I guess. Yeah, I get approached by that all the time. I said, thank you. You guys touched on subjects that need to be touched on. I said, thank you very much. And I go about my business. But I get trust me, some things I'll tell you what say to you guys. So, I'm like, hey, okay.
You know what's funny on that is that whenever you're given your opinion on a situation about whatever it is, then obviously the only people that address it are the people that disagree with what you say.
That's true.
Most of the time. You know what I mean? So, you know, and everybody has the right to disagree with whatever one of the three of us say. That's okay. However, that's you gotta appreciate that is our opinion of how we see the situation at that time. You know what I mean? So
it's in saying that I was with a bunch of people, and we talked about how Patrick played today. It was really like they put up a good fight, and it wasn't much difference between the teams, and like it was more even than the score should. And then Dion Summer game was like, no, this was trash, and he was pissed. This was bad. They didn't play with any sort of passion. He said last week before, when they had to get the points, just make sure they stayed up. They played a lot harder than us. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. He said, no, that's what we had. We didn't have that same fight today. And he was pissed off. That's a different perspective.
right,
Yeah, well, that's right. But that's what we've been talking about all season in Paget's dilemma. Like, you could see them that this game should have been won by them, but they shouldn't have lost. And that's been the story for the whole year for them. But again, what you were saying earlier, Griff, about Paget's problem. They can have all the possession they want, and they don't score enough goals with all that possession.
They have scored the least amount of goals this season. They've only scored 17. Boulevard Blazers has scored 19.
Oh, wow.
That's just facts. Exactly.
Young Man Social Club, who have
So
been
the
relegated,
defense
scored
kept them up there.
31. Yeah, well, no, they conceded 25. They're minus. Well,
Maybe.
no, they conceded, but they conceded 4 today, so 29.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
So
have
what are
actually
the things
scored-
that were mentioned? Because they were saying that there are some players in PHC with Paget ties, and saying that the PHC has too many players, young players. They say, look, you're not playing there. Paget stayed up. Maybe if you want to play more, you need to come to Paget. So I think they may step into the whole Warwick Southampton community and try to get some PHC players.
They say that every year between Patrick, Southampton Rangers about PHC.
Got you. Yeah. That's the. But that's the whole thing with how Island Rangers got started. It was Somerset had too many players that couldn't break into the first team.
Remember, Island Rangers ended up with 2 teams out at Dockyard, because you had the Dockyard Falcons playing in the Corona League, and you had the Island Rangers playing in the first division, who eventually got promoted. The year after they were relegated, they pulled out of the league for 1 year, came back, and now they're out.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely out.
At
Go back
one
to
point in
that.
time-
Why did you think they went out?
Well, when they went out, well, you're talking about this time here.
Yes.
They just ran out of players.
Correct.
At
Correct.
that
So
time,
you can have a good crop of players, 30, maybe even 40 players for 1 to 5, maybe 10-year stretch. But once those players age out, if you don't have a youth program or another 30, 40 players coming through, you're done.
right. Well,
You need a youth program to sustain yourself.
that was the biggest problem. They had the Dockyard guys and the Island Rangers guys were already aged. When Island Rangers got promoted, that team was kind of old. They started out young, but it took them that long to get promoted, right? They had that year in the Premier Division. They got relegated. The following year, they were out of the league because guys, either didn't want to commit no more or whatever. They managed to get themselves back into the league for a few years, and then obviously you're right, no youth program. A lot of those things were reliable on Somerset Trojans or Somerset Eagles, and they end up players not being able to get into their senior teams. So they ended up, if they were from Dockyard or whatever, or had affiliations with Dockyard, then they went out there and played. But then if you look at it, at one point in time, Somerset had 4 teams playing football, organized football, and now they're down to 2.
You need the youth program to keep those players motivated and playing.
Without a doubt. I mean, you had to when Island Rangers should have capitalized on having a youth team was when they were in that mood of doing for promotion. If they would have been able to, but mind you, how many people live out Dockyard?
Not many.
Yeah, but the difference is you have to have a structured program with a purpose. That's why a club like Somerset, who have a structured youth program, get the bulk of the players. Eagles struggle because a lot of the youth players are neighborhood players. It's the same thing that happens in town. Norfolk has a structured program. Devonshire Colts has a structured program. Dandytown have a structured program. The other clubs just have a program and get the kids in the neighborhood, which you know what I mean? So because, I live 2 minutes away from the club, from this particular club. All right, so you can go to this training session because I could easily get you there. You know what I mean? It's more. I don't care if it's not structured or the way it should be.
Yeah. So let's say if you live Devil's Hill or Taunton, are you gonna go Dockyard twice a week for training?
Oh no.
No.
Hardly unlikely.
No.
Not at
Unless
all.
they put on a special ferry for you.
Yeah, that's you're right. But we're talking about that old tradition, isn't it? Going to if you're playing for Cougars, what is Cougars' structure program? And they've struggled this year also.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys that are the Cougars related, but I think some of them will not make the team, the youngsters. Maybe they have to move on, especially about the ones from Boulevard, the young players from Boulevard who help family ties to Boulevard.
Yeah.
And but just think of some pretty good young players there, and the other clubs will start going after them also.
Yeah.
That's talk. That's
what
a lot of
happens.
talk.
Watch what happens mid-April when they have the Kappa tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see a lot of parents dressed in those club colors that don't even come out to watch the senior team. Don't bring the kid to watch the senior team play to get some idea of how that senior team plays, or build that homegrown thing within the program of the club. They'll be out supporting those young people, which is a good thing. However, what we need to do is make sure that type of behavior continues that right through, and these youngsters, because I actually would go back to a midweek show I had with Dennis, and we did a walk down memory lane, and we had Somerset guys on, and one of the questions was, and I know you guys will remember this wholeheartedly, on a Sunday at 1 o'clock, the under 16, the junior team was playing in front of the senior team at a home game. Everybody that was 16, you worked hard that week knowing that you wanted to play in front of that team with the hope that the senior coach gets to recognize you, and the next week you're in the senior team. Those were some of the things that we done back in the day. You took it upon yourself to be sharp, to be ready to, but no, we don't have that. We literally don't have that. I don't know if it's through officials, availability and all of that, but that playing in front of that senior team was the whole any youngster's dream on a given Sunday.
Well, Earl, I went to primary school at West End, and that's what Somerset was big back then. Been in every Silver City, been in everything. Even when I was much older, as an adult, I found it a privilege just to even get to walk on the field and kick a ball. Even go in the changing room, I'm like, yo, I'm here now. This is where all the big guys work. Like that. It was something that was a treat to me.
Yeah. But that has seemed to be going by the wayside. And then what was the other thing that you used to do? It used to make sure you dress the part, because now all these people are coming to watch you. Girls are watching you and all that. There, you want to be depressing. You don't want to be a guy getting sent off and your bad reputation and all. No sir. You want to be playing this week and next week and the following week. It just grew. It allowed players to grow and respect the club. So, Punchy, we're going to take a commercial break, but guess what? You got to decide, or you hadn't sent it to me, so you got to decide for the player and, the coach of the month. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that.
No pressure, Punchy.
No pressure.
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, over 135 years. It's been clear, the silence, proudly Bermudian. Bringing us men. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just... perfect.
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Get ready for some high-speed action this month as Lindo's proudly sponsors the Showdown at Sundown Go-Kart Racing Extravaganza. Join the excitement on Friday and Saturday, March 27th and 28th at 8 p.m. and watch drivers battle it out under the lights at Southside Motorsports Raceway. Enjoy the atmosphere and cheer on your favorite racers. And when it's time to stock up for race day, remember, Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Oh, Punchy. Oh, Punchy, I thought you was ducking out. You was ducking.
Punchy, you was feeling the pressure. You was feeling the pressure.
Yeah. All right, Punchy. So, you are deciding. You are the deciding vote for the player of the month. We had agreed that Jerome Hayward would be the coach of the month. Griff chose Enrique Russell. I chose Zico Lewis. I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to watch that debate on why we chose who we chose. But the
Can
other
we make our cases, Earl? We can make our cases again.
Well, go ahead. You make your case. And let me read what the.
No. I can recite what I said last week. Might not be
Okay.
verbatim. I felt Enrique Russell was very instrumental to his team. A lot of the stuff they look for him, he drives that team and he scores key goals. And I said the key one being when Village basically gave up the league is when he made that goal out of nothing against Village. He's a good player and he did special things in a month. That's my take.
And my argument for Zico was in the month of February, he scored 5 goals, getting them into a position to try and save them from relegation. Ultimately, that didn't work in March, but for February, he had a major influence over Young Men's Social Club. So that was the reason why I chose Zico. So
It's it's a shame if on both one for Zico, especially for Zico, who's contributed so much to Social Club, and I think he's played really well.
You mute or you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm really thinking that Earl. I think I'm good with Enrique on this.
okay,
I'm good with Enrique Gus. Yeah.
You can't hear him, Griff?
I can't hear.
Okay, you can hear me.
I hear you well.
What's my Griff?
Should I go out and come back in?
Yeah, try that.
Yeah, I might go with Enrique because I would say Zico was at a lost cause with all these girls,
Mhm.
but Enrique has been really again instrumental with PAC. Even though I think they've come up and with no silverware this season, have they?
Who, PAC?
Yeah.
No,
they haven't. No, they haven't. So that conversation is about really which one. I think Earl, I'm gonna go with Enrique. I mean,
Okay.
again, Lewis has scored some important goal, and the question would be: is he staying? That's a good question too.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go with Griff on that. Enrique Russell.
You hear him, Griff?
Hey, great minds think alike. If you'd have met with Earl, it was definitely few seldom differ.
I was hoping you wouldn't come back and hear him because I can tell you he picked Zico. just to get your reaction. So Enrique Russell and Jerome Hayward, previous winners of those awards, the February, and of course next week we'll be doing the month of March, coach and player of the month. I think next week we would know who the champions are. The Premier Division champions is the only thing that, and the leading goal scorers to be decided. And let me just give you a breakdown right now of the leading goal scorers. So we have David Jones on 16, Sanaj Mitchell and Enrique Russell on 14, Zico Lewis and Donovan Thompson on 13, and Shea Brangman and Shamal Henry on 11. So that's the top goal scorers. I know for a fact, and very interesting fact, the final league game of the season, the Dandy Town Hornets will travel to the Wellington Oval. How ironic would it be if Jerome Hayward was to win the title with Dandy Town Hornets at the field where he last coached his previous team to the FA Cup final, to the FA Cup win. I know for a fact that there's a clash at Police Field where the two teams at Shirley Field, they play the final game there, Young Men's Social Club and Devonshire Colts. And I believe the final game at PAC is PAC and Paget, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected, but that will be so. It's going to be 3 games that everybody will be watching closely, starting at 2:59, and we'll see who comes out on top in those games. Once I confirm the schedule, I will send it to you guys to get our final pick of the league season.
Oh, so we're not going to go through the picks today?
I'm not 100% sure if that is the actual schedule. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've been trying to
Because
get the schedule.
I thought we were going to go over because there was a lot of talk about what people think is going to happen in these last games.
So okay, so let's for sure. I know Dandytown are playing St. George's, and I know for sure Devonshire Colts are playing.
And that's one of the ones because there were quite a few Dandytown games at the Dandytown fans at the Paget game today, and that's one of the things they were saying. Oh, what's going on? We're going to take care of them. People saying, oh no, St. George's. But I think based on what we saw last week from St. George's, it looks like St. George's are done for the season. Like I don't think the best team that Schools Where the Girls does everything is showing up on the last day. That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that game it could be an easy game for Dandytown.
No, it's still to be seen that currently Dandytown has 40 points with a goal difference of 21. Devonshire Colts have 38 points with a goal difference of 23. And PHC are on 37 points with a goal difference of 17. Now, with a draw for Dandytown and a victory for Devonshire Colts would win the league on goal difference.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes. A loss for Dandytown and a loss for Devonshire Colts and a PHC 5-0 victory would allow PHC to win the league on goal difference because they are currently 4 behind the Dandytown Hornets on goal difference.
That's too many things need to happen for that to work out. I think I have a better chance of seeing the Easter Bunny next Sunday.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Stranger things
have happened, but
the Easter Bunny will bring me some shivers. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Well, one thing is for sure, there'll be a lot of talk throughout the entire week, but who will it get to? The pressure of, but I think you had it right. Griff, earlier in the show, you talked about Devonshire Colts would have both eyes focused on the FA Cup, but the league will be a bonus.
Yeah,
they have to get through that last game, and if for some miracle that they do and Dandytown slip up, that'll be a big thing for Devonshire Colts. Remember, 2 seasons ago when they got promoted, they went through the entire season undefeated.
And I think even if people talk, some people were joking today, saying, Devonshire Colts can go through this season. They're gonna be second place in the league and second place in the FA Cup. I said, even if that happens, I think Devonshire Colts, with what they have right now, they're gonna be right back in the thick of things next year, no matter how it turns out right now.
See, again, and Punchy alluded to it, fans have the right to say whatever they want. But at this current time, they are in the position. 8 other teams are not in the position that Devonshire Colts are in.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're not like you said. Even what happens,
Yeah.
I wish them the best.
They could finish runners up. Nobody at the beginning of the season, other than I guess a few Devonshire Colts people, would have had them in the position that they are in right now. Now, they wouldn't have had them at second place. They wouldn't have had them in the FA Cup final. But they've been able to do it. And to be honest, if you think about it, under the radar because they've just gone about their business. They haven't really, made a lot of noise stories, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are quote unquote anti Ray Jones, and they don't want Devin Coast to succeed because of Ray and all that type of stuff. But what he's been able to do is silence a lot of people that cap them in the box. Now, if they finish second, a lot of people will come out and say, yeah, they are. And if they don't win the FA, you hear a lot more talking. But
So, do you think, having said that, do you think next year, because you said they're flying under the radar this year, do you think next year them not being able to fly under the radar will make a difference to how teams approach them?
yes.
So it'll be more difficult for them next year.
And it would also depend on their pickups and the guys that leave or decide they're not going to play anymore. Because obviously you have that, even though they're young, they're playing a long time. These guys have been playing for quite some time. And do they want to go through that again this next season? So that you might have one or two guys that might say, you know what, I'm going to play commercial league because I don't feel like this all out training type of thing. And you have those players that do that. And then obviously they might be sitting on the bench quietly right now, but contemplating, I want to play, so I'm going to go somewhere else and play. Those are the type of things that obviously all teams are up against right now. We talked about obviously the two teams coming up, Robin Hood and Somerset Trojans. They have to be in the shop window right now, looking for some bodies, looking for some quality if they want to have the opportunity to stay up. The opportunity for Robin Hood is far greater than Somerset because Robin Hood kind of trained in time. So, if a guy feels, I can make Robin Hood's team and I can't make quote unquote Devonshire Cougars team or Devonshire Colts team, I could go over there and I'll be playing in the Premier Division. That's the choices. But I don't have to go far from where I was training before. But when you start talking about playing all the way Somerset,
that's very logical. But I think if that was the case, then they would have never filled it before.
That was through what you're talking about, Robin Hood?
Yeah.
That was through listen, and you saw it, the same thing happened at BAA. When you have a coach that comes in and brings all his personnel in, right? And I'm talking players as well. When that person leaves, all those people leave. Here lies the problem. The guys that were there loyal to you before, they were eventually kicked to the curb. They're not coming back to save the club because you allowed me to get kicked to the curb.
But again, if that club is fighting for the same pool of players as other clubs, St. George's, Somerset, that are at the other ends of the island, you see, they have a better chance of getting those players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the issue always falls down to if I'm at the club and the club brings in, hypothetically, Punchy, and then Punchy brings in 9 or 10 guys that he's brought up from youth, and they believe in his philosophy, and they could do what he wants them to do, and so forth. And I get told, okay, you're going to be a reserve player today, or you can't make the team today, and that goes on for 3, 4, 5 weeks. I'm going to find something else to do. But then when Punchy's going, there's 9 or 10 players go with him. And guess what? The guys that thought like me, that was loyal to the club before that happened, we'll find something else to do. Don't call me now, boys. Don't call me now. And that's the basis. That's the basis of BAA, Robin Hood, and even if you want to say other team, Island Rangers, when they dropped out of the Vasco, when they dropped out of the league.
Yeah, the dilemma does exist. That problem does exist for those type of clubs.
Yes.
Yeah, it still does. Yeah. I think more guys. I think Robin Hood will get some.
They'll get some players, and they because they'll be able to shop within the range of time.
That's right. Exactly.
But
That's
the struggle for Somerset is that they're out, and the same thing for St. George's and David. You're on the outskirts.
You're on the outskirts. It's just a simple fact. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So
Bermuda's not that big, but you want to drive across the causeway in the winter to go training?
It ain't happening. No, exactly. Those as we see it now, that's how it stands. And I think that's St. George could be in for a little surprise themselves, isn't it? In terms of
if guys decide to leave, if guys decide to leave and go make other clubs stronger, which a lot of times happens, throughout St. George's football,
Mhm.
then you almost have to go down to a rebuilding stage again. So guess what happens? The level of play drops, the quality drops, and everything. You end up having to go back into the first division
Yeah. It's
for
it's
a
Earl,
few years to rebuild.
on your logic, if you
Mhm.
have a player that's in the, let's say in June, trying to decide they want to play for, they live in town.
Mhm.
What makes them bypass Village, Dandytown, and Cougars to go play for Robin Hood?
You look at the amount of players that are in those other teams,
yeah.
and what's my chances of getting a starting position in that team as opposed to those other three teams you named.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
my argument on that though, if you think that you might not be able to start for those teams, then you're probably not good enough anyway, and go ahead, go to Robin Hood. But if you are good enough and maybe it's some doubt, you're like, you know what? If you're confident in yourself, you know what? I don't care, like Earl starting by like October, I'm gonna have it short. If you're that good.
But that's the point I'm making is that you look at, okay, Griff starts at right back for Robin Hood. I'm a half a decent or quality right back. I'm coming from, quote unquote, I'm coming from Dandytown. What's the first thing the coach is going to look at? You're coming from a quality club. So guess what, Griff? You might have to sit down preseason and let me see what this guy could do. And if he's successful, then Griff, you ride the pine until this guy gets injured.
Well, I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen that Sergio is going to go talk to players.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's also Mendes and the recruitment staff at Robin Hood. You will find, like you said, Earl. I agree with you totally. The guys that are not making the Cougars, or they are playing the Cougars, they might get encouraged to say, you know what, man, I'm gonna go live with Robin Hood, and because things have been going so well at Cougars this year,
Right.
or and of course the rest saying ain't nobody gonna be able to sit from town to go up the train. No way, all going to St. George's. But then you might see moving from one or two St. George's players moving with Robin Hood. I think they have a great chance, or they're going to have a good chance of recruitment this summer, and I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it really is going to happen.
This is the other thing, Griff, that we have to look at as well. So you have people like Richard Todd, you have Andrew Bascom, you have Kenny Thompson, who have taken all these young men from young ages and put them into a system, into a network, trained them, and so forth. So 9 times out of 10. Whatever club those guys are affiliated with, they can have a conversation with the parent or the player and say, "Hey, look, we're playing this style of football. You jowled at it when you was a young player in our system, and here's an opportunity for you to get back into it." And you know what I mean? And that's what happens a lot. That's what happens a lot.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys in the St. George's team who are now under the coach of Juande Bascom that come from FC Bascom, because he's there, and the philosophies that he takes from FC Bascom to St. George's, those players fit that mold, so he's able to talk to them, and all of a sudden they're in the team. We saw that with BAA when Kenny took over. We saw that with North Village when Kenny came back and took over. How many guys left BAA and came to North Village? You know, now there's an opportunity up Somerset. Somerset may get some guys because Kenny be able to talk to some guys. You know,
I'm adding to that, Earl. What was so really nice, good about when watching North Village play last week was that the coaching staff had to introduce these four young players to play. And it seems that some things that we have gotten away from at North Village is now coming back. They come out of junior programs. They played well, even if it was against Social Club.
Right.
But they performed really well. And so there is, what was I saying with North Village, who are now grooming the younger players and coming into out of North Village system, which is a good thing, which is good for us.
Last thing, Griff, we forgot to even mention that Southampton Rangers could benefit from PAC because they had a PAC coach.
Yep.
And
That's
the guys
definitely-
that you know they could. Okay, this season here, you know, he was confirmed late after the transfer and all that there. But here's an opportunity for him to have a conversation with a few players, and you know, they could come over from a system that they're comfortable with if he can get them to play in that system and so forth. You know, and that would overshadow guys leaving PHC to talk about going to Patrick because they'll go into another PHC style structured program.
Hey, it's a jungle out there in the off season. Every
Oh, yeah.
coach is gonna have to fight for players.
Oh yeah, I see another 150 guys in different places. Come July. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, it's been real. It's been another day of conversation on football. We want to say congratulations to Devonshire Colts. Now this three horse race will go down to the wire. Next week, Sunday, we will know who that champion is, and hopefully we can get some comments from their coaches or the coaching staff after that match to bring to our viewers. So we'll be back next week, Sunday, 6 o'clock, with another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. Enjoy your night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Thank you, fellas.
Okay.